You don't have to overhaul your entire life to be healthier. As someone who loves pizza and sweets and not running marathons, I have had to slip in some small, simple changes. So I want to share the ones that are working for me. Let's go. Hi guys, it's Laura from How to Get Your Shit Together, and I help busy women get organized, get motivated, and get healthy. Every year I tell myself that I am going to get healthy. I'm going to the gym, I'm running, I'm only eating clean foods. But talk is cheap and not as delicious as ice cream. But over the years I have managed to incorporate some simple habits into my routine to help keep me a little bit more active and to curb those sugar cravings. I'm a slave to my sweet tooth. So if health is something that you are interested in, but you have been there, done that with the big promises, the sweeping changes, only to be overwhelmed by the enormity of it all, try these simple tips. There are obviously lots of different things that you could do, but these are the ones that are currently working for me. One of the biggest contributors to whatever small bit of physical health I have is alternating my tasks. Throughout my working day, I set timers, 45 minutes of focused work and then 15 minutes of chores. It means that for a quarter of an hour, every hour, I am on my feet doing some form of activity, whether that be folding clothes, washing dishes, sweeping the floors, dressing the beds, whatever, but I am up and moving. So set a reminder or an alarm or a timer or whatever, and then get up and get moving. Get that blood flowing again. This is basically what stops me from living a completely sedentary life. Then, during those times that I am up and about, I try and do everything with a little bit more energy, a little more gusto. I move as quickly as I can, I run up the stairs, and I just generally try to exaggerate my movements just to build up a bit of a sweat. Also, because I usually have a timer set, as I said, I try and get as much done during that time as I can. So the natural kind of against the clock mentality means that I speed clean and I race around the house trying to tick off as many tasks from my list as I can before I hear that beep and I'm back on my arse again. When I worked in retail and then in law, I was on my feet for a large part of the day. And then I had a baby and then I was running around after a toddler for a large part of the day. But these days, working from home with that kid in school means that I spend a lot of my time sitting down. And scientists reckon that sitting for prolonged periods is just as damaging to your health as smoking. And I ain't going out like that. So I started researching standing desks, and then because the universe works in mysterious ways, and it kind of owed me after a prolonged period of plague in this house. A company called Flexispot offered to send me one. Yeah, thanks. Now, my dad put it together, so I can't attest to how much of a pain in the ass that was, but he said it was pretty straightforward. And this thing is brilliant. Scout loves it too. I will link it below. It is completely motorized. You can use it for sitting or standing. Basically, it's my new toy. It will memorize 3 different heights, so it will automatically adjust to those at the press of a button. That's handy because then I don't have to remember what standing height was most comfortable. I just program it in. I do like just pressing the arrow buttons and watching it go up and down though, as does Scout. Which is when the memory thing comes in handy. Just one button and it's back to the way I set it. It even has a sitting reminder. So if you are using it for sitting, you can set a timer on it that will beep to remind you that it's time to move. How robots haven't taken over already, I will never know. I, for one, welcome our new standing desk overlords. I also find that sitting down makes me feel sleepy. So standing up keeps me alert. But I actually have scoliosis, so standing for prolonged periods can be quite painful. So I asked Flexispot to include one of their AntiFatigue Mats, and that means that I can stand for longer periods of time without getting that horrible ache in my feet and my legs and my back. Flashbacks to my time in retail when I would come home and have to lie down with my legs up against a wall just to try and stop the throbbing. They also have memory foam cushions for when you're sitting, and if a full standing desk is not within your budget, they have a desktop version that is really handy. You can just pop it on top of your existing desk. So convenient. Anyway, I will link it below, but yes, if you can, stand. Okay, let's move on to snacks, because if you are like me, these are your downfall. As soon as I leave a bag of sweets or something on my desk, I will just pick at them all day long. Even if I'm not really hungry, even if I don't really want them, robo arm just takes over. When I put them away, they are out of sight, out of mind, out of reach. Even better if you can get them out of your house altogether. If you have to go all the way to the store to get a quick sugar fix, more often than not, you're probably just going to make do with what's available. So if you can't help yourself when they're in the house, remove that temptation completely. This is why I no longer buy banana nut muffins. It's not you, it's me. Another thing that I struggle with is that, for me, convenience plays a huge factor when it comes to food. I will just reach for whatever I do not have to put time and effort into, and usually that is something processed and packaged. But by forcing myself to have a lot of convenient, healthy snacks on hand, I am much more likely to reach for one of those instead, because really, all things being equal, I am just as happy to get some carrot sticks or bananas or peaches or whatever instead of reaching for a packet of crisps. The trick is to make it something that you actually like to eat. There is no point stocking up on healthy stuff that you can't stand. Once a week, chop and prep fruits and veg, nuts and seeds, salads, whatever, and then have them ready to go. I try and do it immediately after I've done a grocery shop, when I'm still feeling all smug from buying superfoods. Or if you are willing to pay the extra, I usually am not, you can buy a lot of stuff that is already pre-prepared. Just be mindful that pre-prepared usually means more plastic. Once you've got those ready to go, you can satisfy your need for speed, but with some healthy snacks instead of packaged crap. After that, I like to be the snack Santa and make a list. Take the thought out of it. If I have to sit and think about what I could possibly eat or rustle up, I'm already munching on a donut. So I keep a list of quick, healthy foods that I can throw together with minimum effort. Things like boiled eggs and toast, tuna sandwiches, a smoothie, pasta salad. When I don't have to spend a lot of time thinking about it, it is much easier for me to make a healthier choice. So remove the temptation by removing the hesitation. Remember also that staying hydrated is half the battle. Keep a bottle of water beside you and drink from it regularly. As I mentioned, I set timers throughout the day, so every time I hear that beep and I am switching from one task to another, I take a swig. Now, it is sod's law that the foods that are usually best for you are the ones that go off the fastest. So, shop regularly to make sure that you have fresh ingredients on hand. About once a week should do it, but you may need to do a little in-between top-up shop. But for the weeks where you can't make it to the store for whatever reason, or when you're just too tired or not in the mood to cook, then make sure that your freezer is full of reasonably healthy foods. Frozen veg, frozen fruit for smoothies, the healthiest ready meals that you can find, etc. That way, even when your perishable stuff is past its prime, you will still have some healthy options. Ditto goes for anything that will actually last a while, like whole grain rice, pastas, that sort of thing. Try keep a stock of those on hand too, so that in a pinch you can quickly whip up something healthy. If you want to learn how I cut chocolate out of my diet completely a few years ago, then click here and subscribe to the channel for more tips on how you can make the coming year your best yet. Until then, gur raibh míle maith agaibh, agus feici mé sibh go luath. Slán!